Moms, bringing you a story on the Nauset Human Rights Academy here at Nauset. This is Matt West, who is the president of the club. So could you tell us a little bit about the club and what you guys do?
Yeah, so we have an executive board that meets kind of like a council once a week, where we go over different aspects of social justice and human rights, and how can we educate our Nauset community and actually bring light to certain events and certain groups. And by doing so, we've actually had 53 students show up at one point at the club. And so it's a lot of kids from different clubs, like kids that can't necessarily come in the afternoon when we have our club. We'll actually go to the Feminism Club or the Gay Straight Alliance, which they're actually Equality Club this year. But we have a lot of kids that come in between and go to different clubs. So when we have our exec board meetings, we have students that become experts on, let's say, feminism or different sorts of activist movements, where actually when we want to do something, let's say, for example, like our Unity Day, where we had, it was Anti-Bullying Awareness Month in September, and we wanted to give recognition of that. So we had students and student groups from all over the school get together between the student council and feminism club, like I said before, get together and actually make it happen. So our big push this year was to educate our Nauset community about these things and then watch and see what happens. And so bringing kids together, giving them the opportunity to share their perspectives on things so that we all can move forward and actually have some amazing advocacy and educational opportunities.
That's great. And when does the club meet?
Yeah, so we meet every Thursday from 3 to 4. Actually, we go a little bit later than 4 sometimes because the discussions are so great. But mainly it's every Thursday. So we have a general meeting on Thursdays, and then Tuesday mornings we have an exec board meeting that any member of the club can come to, but we have an executive board that will meet and discuss and actually plan the Thursday meeting.
And so new members can join at any time?
Of course, yeah. We look forward to it, actually.
Good. And I heard a little bit about you guys traveled and went to a conference. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, of course. So this June, we actually last year we prepared to go to a Global Student Leaders Summit that was given by the EF Tour Company, similar to the Costa Rica trip a few years back. But this Global Student Leaders Summit was about history and democracy and the basic human rights. And so it brought 1,500 students from all over the world to the World Forum at The Hague in Europe, where we sat and listened to the grandsons of Nelson Mandela and Gandhi, and it was super inspiring. And so after that, we were set up and put into groups, and these groups of, I wasn't with students that I knew necessarily. It was students from all over the world. We had translators if you spoke different languages. And,
so cool.
Yeah, it was super inspiring. But the main thing was they were giving us some sort of crisis, like for example the refugee crisis, and they were giving us tactics on how can we solve this issue and create sort of what they called a product from which they can use to help future refugee crises or the refugee crisis at hand. But bringing students together that don't necessarily have the same views or the same backgrounds from like school or economic standards, and asking them in 3 days to create a product that they can show to judges and have voted on by the judges, and the 3 that are the best or the most prominent will become actual things that are going to happen. So it was super inspiring for students that have classes such as ERD, exploring and respecting differences, and the Human Rights Academy, for those students to go internationally with our HRA Nauset shirts and proudly show to people, this is what human rights is about, and this is what we know, and let's just show you what we can do.
And for anyone who's interested in going on one of these events or conferences, is there any coming up soon?
Yeah, so Mrs. Anderson's actually doing the a trip to Italy this year. I think it's actually, the cap has been reached, but they're always trying to do different things. This one's going to be the future of food. Ours was history and democracy. So they always try to do different topics and around different things. So just stay tuned and keep track of EF Tours on their website. And our advice is to always approach your teachers with ideas that you have to promote change and advocate for yourself, advocate for the programs that are out there and make it happen.
Great. And lastly, Lisa Brown is your advisor. Could you tell us a little bit about her and what she does?
Yeah, so of course, yeah. So actually, Lisa runs a program at our school that I was talking about before. It's called ERD, Exploring and Respecting Differences. It's a 17-year-long class that she's been teaching, all about social justice and diversity, and it dabbles in hate groups, sex trafficking, human trafficking, and the idea is basically teaching you things that you won't necessarily learn in a traditional sense. And so with students coming from her ERD classes, they get inspired to want to make change, and they get inspired over their 4 years at NASA to want to do something around it. So the Human Rights Academy is actually the arm branch that leads directly from ERD and gives you the opportunity to go out into your NASA community with projects and make change. So Lisa is the facilitator of that course, but as well as our Human Rights Academy, she brings us, she was actually our advisor to The Hague and to our conferences, and she leads a group of students to Haiti each year to allow students to have a chance to see a new perspective. And so she's always trying to find ways to allow students to go outside of their comfort zone and challenge their own beliefs so that they can become aware of things that they weren't necessarily aware of.
Yes. All right. Well, thank you, Matt, for your time today.
Yeah, thank you.
Isabel Pellegrini. And could you tell us about your project here today?
So we have here a display about human trafficking, and myself and another Honors Earth student and Human Rights Academy member, Deandra, have worked with Cape Cod PATH. PATH stands for People Against Trafficking in Humans, to create a display that educates the NASA community about human trafficking and specifically trafficking on Cape Cod. We first got involved with Cape Cod PATH by starting a project in Honors ERD about human trafficking, and more importantly how it exists here so close to home. And we had Cape Cod PATH come in because they're a task force that designs education forums for educating on this very topic. And we had them come in and speak to our school, so then Deandra and I got further involved and got trained with the Department of Homeland Security about human trafficking. So we worked with Cape Cod PATH and Human Rights Academy to create this display. Most of it is right here, talking about the indicators that human trafficking exists in a given situation, which is really important for us to be able to identify these signs. So if we need to contact law enforcement, we know what to look for and how to carry out the publicity. And then also we have pictures of tattoos that have actually been taken from real victims of human trafficking, and you see here they have names of the traffickers on them that shows ownership. So I think this is a very powerful display on human trafficking, and it educates the NASA community about an issue that might have otherwise been very under-publicized.
All right. Well, thank you, Isabel. Kylie Christensen. And could you tell us a little bit about NASA Human Rights Academy work in the gallery?
Yeah, so basically it's kind of a manifestation of all of our different passions. We have a lot of different things in the gallery with a lot of different people working in it. It's not just people from Human Rights Academy, it's also people from ERD, which is our faculty advisor who leads this classes, and Honors ERD, and also other people that just don't have any involvement with human rights that may just have a passion with what we're doing, and they kind of have their artwork displayed all around. And we also have pollution and just stuff that might not be talked about daily on the campus. So.
All right, well, thank you. You're welcome. We're with Veronica Allery, and she's going to tell us a little bit about her project here in the gallery.
So a couple months back, the 5 gyres came to visit our school talking about the plastic pollution in the oceans and just trash in general that's being collected. And so my ceramics teacher, Amy, and I thought about what we could do to make a difference and how we could kind of just change our community. So we created this club called YAP, stands for Youth Against Plastic Pollution. And we started making these ceramic mugs, and just to let people know, we want them to be aware of how their plastic is affecting not only our community here, but the world as a whole.